Shakti ka naam. All right. Okay. Now that I have everyone's attention, we'll continue with our program. I'm sure you all had an amazing discussion. I know in my group, it was really inspiring to hear everyone. Everyone sort of come up with a solution to the challenges and then also think about creative ways of helping the community around. So, definitely a great discussion. We won't be able to do a complete report out, but we'll try to send it out, in an email so that everyone has those points with them and we can continue working on those later too. But right now, Manisha ji will quickly give an overview of what was discussed in all of the groups. Obviously, she won't be able to cover everything, but like a quick 2-minute overview of the discussions.
Thank you, Manjari ji. I hope everybody can hear me okay? All right. Wow, I can't read, so I will try my best. But thank you everybody. The whole conversation, group discussions were great. And I'm holding these chits in my hand. These are some, in my group, I had requested women to write what is their superpower. So I'm going to carry this in my hand when I'm talking. So this is the real Shakti I have with me. So we all discuss challenges, we all discuss solutions, we all discuss, contributions. The interesting part that I saw, in this, the commonality that I saw was that every solution to every challenge was leaning towards outreach, was leaning towards Hinduism, was leaning towards community outreach, right? So I know I'm talking about the solution first, but that was a very interesting part. Every challenge, so I'm going to speak a few. There were challenges around the food, whether your kids are taking the food to school, Indian food, or whether as working professionals, we are taking food to our cafeterias. The food smells, it's oily, right? And everybody was, they shared that, people find it, they are a little, timid to, they will have food on their own when the Americans are not around, right? So trying to fit in, but again, trying to stay away. Correct? So that was one of the common challenges everybody faced. And the kids, obviously, they don't want to take that food. They would rather have a cheese pizza if you're a vegetarian. But mothers want to make sure that they eat Indian food. So that was one of the challenge. The other challenge was we are new to this country, cultural shocks, being judgmental, right? And it's not us. We are not getting judged. But interesting part was we were judging people. So there were instances which were shared that, oh, I saw a woman who was, pregnant without getting married. I was being judgmental. How I came out of that, right? So it was a very interesting takeaway. The third takeaway was around Indians, interestingly, and I'm going to speak slowly about this, everybody around here in the US, for good or bad reasons, used to think you're an Indian, you're probably a Muslim, right? So they don't know about Hinduism. They don't know about, the other culture. They're probably stereotyping every Indian. So being stereotyped was another challenge. I'll now speak about solutions. So, the common takeaway, right, as I said, whether it's food, whether it's being accepted, whether it's trying to fit in to this, country, but again, not losing out on your values, is being part of a community, one of the solutions, right? Being part of the community, being, whether it's Chinmaya, CMP, or any other organization, try to connect, try to talk to people, try to be part of these different kind of outreaches. Invite people at your home, whether they're Americans or Indians, invite them, tell them about your culture, invite them for Diwali, invite them for any other festival, tell them about the culture, right? The other, solution was around when it comes to kids, right? Somebody said, I'm trying to force my kids that at least take a shower before praying. Or, when you're go to the temple, and it's a challenge, right? Because they have a very logical way of thinking about things. How do you overcome that? You can't force them, but try to be at it and practice what you preach. You do it, they will do it someday. So keep at it, don't lose hopes, just keep at it. Consistency and determination is the key. So try to keep at it. That was one of the solutions, that came out, right? That you keep at it, be consistent. One day they will learn it. One day they will know it. And if they don't, it's okay. As long as they turn out to be good human beings, nothing like it, right? In fact, that's also one of the, key learnings of Hinduism. Be a good human being. Now, there was a very interesting contribution, what different can we do? So we all know there are just different outreach groups, community groups, Hindu temple, SV temple, CMP, lot of festivals that happen, so you can connect, which is known to everybody. But some interesting takeaways that came out, especially for senior citizens who are women and teenagers. See, it's very easy for toddlers, infants. You get them at Bal Vihar, they would learn it right when they are small. But imagine for people who have probably come a little later in the game, and maybe the kids were born in India and they joined schools when they were teenagers. How do you keep them connected? So one of the interesting ideas that came was having these kind of programs, age-specific. And I know Bal Vihar already does that, but just having a dedicated program for senior citizens, having a dedicated program just for teenagers, which I'm sure is going to be very, very challenging to even get them here and consistently do it. But that was one of the solutions that came out. Other solution was, contribution was, maybe, again, this was to do with outreach. You have these communities, but how do you get the other, non-Indian communities to talk more about Hinduism? And, they should know, right? They can't stereotype us. So one of the contribution was just greeting cards. Print some greeting cards, give it to them during Diwali as a favor when maybe you have baby showers or whatever, right? Just give that Indian traditional something like a favor rather than giving a chocolate. One of the ways of spreading Hinduism, right? Why don't you think of those as favors? Maybe diyas and whatnot. So that was one of the contribution. I think I'm just going to keep it short. I hope I covered. If I didn't do justice, I'm really sorry. Just in the interest of time, covered what I could and just generalized most of the solutions, contributions, and challenges. And by the way, it was great to know so many of y'all. Thank you for discussions and contributions and just a lot of things which were interesting for me to know. So thank you.
Thank you, Manisha ji. And she actually gave a great segue to the next section. We talked about connecting and being part of a community or an organization. So the next part, we are going to have, there are so many Hindu organizations in Pittsburgh. So we have a few representatives here, and they're going to talk a little bit about their organization, what they do, what activities they conduct. So we'll start with... I think the clicker's not reaching. Yep. So we'll start with Chinmaya Mission and Sheila ji.
Hari Om one more time. Can we have the first slide, please? As you all know, we are assembled here at Chinmaya Amarnath. This center is called as Chinmaya Amarnath, which is one of the 3 locations of Chinmaya Mission, Pittsburgh. So we have 2 other locations, one in Monroeville, which goes by Chinmaya Sanjeevani, and we have a center in South Hills as well, where we only do Bala Vihar on Sundays. We don't have a physical presence there. So Chinmaya Mission, and this is basically affiliated to Chinmaya Mission worldwide, and they have about more than 700 centers globally. This is, Chinmaya Mission, of course, is a global Vedantic institution dedicated to fulfilling a very simple yet profound mission, the mission of spreading maximum happiness to maximum people for the maximum number of hours. The inspiration for Chinmaya Mission is, of course, Swami Chinmayananda, widely known as Pujya Gurudev. Not many people know that Pujya Gurudev was one of the first heads of Vishwa Hindu Parishad. Hailed as the second Vivekananda by many, Pujya Gurudev was instrumental in bringing the knowledge of the Vedas, Upanishads, and other sacred texts to the mass public in English and other local languages. One of his many gifts is the BMI chart, or the body, mind, and intellect chart. The basic crux is that through these tools, the body, mind, and intellect, we should be able to ascend towards self-realization. We all know that we use our body, mind, and intellect to interact with the world outside. Now I'm actually going to, can we have the second slide, please? Yeah. So on the same lines, every aspect of Chinmaya mission is geared towards purification and cleansing of these tools. So if we have to effectively transact with the world outside using the body, mind, and intellect, we have to have a way or means to cleanse these tools that we have, that is the body, mind, and intellect. So we cleanse it in such a way that we become positive contributors of society and humanity. For the body, we have various avenues such as seva opportunities for our seniors, less privileged people in our community, our country of residence, the US, and of course our country of origin, our Bharat. Now, as Bhagwan Krishna says, the mind can be a compassionate friend or a ruthless foe. It just depends on how we treat it and tame it. For the mind, we have avenues such as puja, utsava activities in our mandir, etc. We are also trying to bring back the ancient concept of mandirs, which used to be much, much more than just a place of worship. They were centers of arts, counseling, knowledge, support, etc. And these were some of the things that I was listening to one of the groups that were discussing, and these were some of the things that people actually don't feel like they get it in this country. Some of the challenges that were highlighted were we don't feel like we belong, or we don't feel like we are part of our Indian culture, but we do foster all that through Chinmaya Mission Pittsburgh. Finally, the intellect. As Tulsidas ji said, Jai Hanuman Gyana Gunasagar. Hanumanji is the epitome of service and bravery, but he is also the abode of wisdom. Whatever service activities or puja and other sadhanas we do, they will be incomplete if we don't assimilate those values and make them our own. As Pujya Gurudev often says, put your coffee, pour the milk, put the sugar, but churn it. Without that, if you drink, it's not coffee. And then you can always say, oh, what a coffee, right? For the intellect, we have many avenues, such as satsangs, balavihars, discourses, workshops, etc. So I'm actually going to, impromptu, call upon a balavihar teacher and a parent who is sitting here amongst us to quickly give us a brief glimpse into how her family has benefited from Chinmaya Mission Pittsburgh. Srilata, do you mind coming up?
Hari Om, everyone. It's been 8 years since we moved to Pittsburgh, and even before having kids, I joined Chinmaya Mission Pittsburgh. So I was a teacher at that time, and a few years later, I had kids, and I was teaching one day without even knowing, right? My kids started chanting whatever the shlokas or whatever the Krishna stories that I was telling to the other kids. He was listening. It was during COVID time. We had online class. He was sitting right next to me. He was 3 years old. During summer, he was reciting all the shlokas, and I was taken aback. I did not even teach any of the shlokas or anything to that kid, to my kid. But out of the blue, he started grasping everything. So one thing I would like to say is start young, and it's never too late. we do a lot at Chinmaya Mission Bal Vihar. We do like kite making, we celebrate Holi, all the festivals, right? I don't have to take a separate effort to teach them this is what we do. They just gel into it. They weave. So that's one thing. And I took a break. I also have a 2-year-old, so I took a break from teaching and I started attending the adult satsang. And Ganesh ji was one of the persons who just facilitating the satsang. And I would like to conclude with one thing. If you are in any of the struggles, right, any of the stress, don't tell God how big your problem is. Tell your problem how big your God is. Thank you.
Can we have the next slide, please? So, finally, I will leave you with this quote by Pujya Gurudev. What we have is God's gift to us. What we do with this life is our gift back to the Lord. Let us use our tools, the BMI, and prepare a gift back to the Lord when it is time for us to leave this world. Again, our heartfelt gratitude to all of you for your presence and participation. And again, truly, truly grateful for giving Chinmaya Mission the opportunity to host this wonderful occasion. Thank you all.
Dhanyavad, Sheila ji. Next, we have Hindu Jain Temple, and Lakshmi ji is going to give an overview.
Namaste and Sai Ram. So this is Hindu Jain Temple remodel. We are very proud of the architecture of the temple. If you can go to the next slide, please. So it started 1973. 7 acres of land was purchased. 81 was groundbreaking ceremony. 84 was when Pran Pratishtha of deities took place. And really in 2024, we are celebrating our 40th anniversary celebration. And we are very excited. A lot of great activities are going to come. Our Muniji is going to come. It's really going to be great. So I would invite all of you to participate in the event. The one uniqueness that I feel we have is Hindu and Jain Mandir are in the same temple. There is so much of camaraderie between the two groups, which is really amazing. We can find Ram, Krishna, Narayan, Shiva, and Mahavir together in this temple. Until Chinmaya Kailash started, that was the one Shiva Mandir that was there, where a lot of our South Indians used to go and do Abhishek. It's a brilliant temple, and I'm very thankful that we are all part of it. We really take pride in providing religious, spiritual, cultural, educational, humanitarian, and social service. It's all of that that's done in the temple. If you go to the next slide, please. So from a religious perspective, we do celebrate major festivals, Mata Ki Chauki, Ram Navami, Mahashivratri, Holika Dahan, Ravan Dahan, Annakut, which is a huge Gujarati celebration. We do our first day Havan, first Sunday Havan, New Year of Havan, Satyanarayana Katha happens every month. And then priests do come to different houses and provide religious activities, services. From a spiritual perspective, which is really very enlightening, is we do have Bhagavad Gita classes for adults, and nowadays it's done remotely, so it's a wonderful class. And then we do have periodic pravachan by Muniji, Sadhiji, and other visiting Swamiji. Temple has always invited other Swamijis to be part of, in delivering messages. So they've always been open. If you go to the next slide, please. So cultural activities, I think someone had mentioned, like Chinmaya Mission, we also do, holy color playing, a lot of cultural activities with our, Vidya Mandir. We organize a lot of youth events and senior citizen events. We take pride in that, like participating. We participate in the local folk festival. Shambhaviji is kind of leading a lot of that, so we are so glad that she's part of the Mandir. But these are the cultural activities that we do. If you go to the next slide, please. So humanitarian community outreach, right? We have kept our little bit of connection with the government engagement. We really try to get engaged to promote that Hinduism awareness with the local government and community. So we did that, we participated. We really kind of wrote the letter to the governor. We had one representative come to us and talk about that recognition of, the Hindu Day, Hindu Heritage Month. Interfaith participation is another thing that we really take proud of. There are a lot of multi-faith local community groups that I'm part of. There's another group that's part of. We always invite them out. We had the Hindu Faith Annual Jewish Committee and Scouting. We do that. As someone said, community involvement is very important because awareness creation happens that way. So that does happen. And then from a humanitarian services piece, we do a lot of stuff like a lot of other organizations. Diwali food donation, youth lead it, is like we really kind of do monthly soup kitchen, regular participation in local food bank with other organizations. And then we have fundraising. Kids do the winter cloth accessory drive. And if there's anything in India, like any other institution, they do that too. And to end this, I will really say, at the end of the day, everything comes down to karmanyeva adhikaraste. That is what we all believe in, and every one of us who are here are just doing that, and we have a strong group of people who do that. Lastly, it's the education Vidya Mandir. We do our scholarship to deserving students, not only from our mandir, even from outside. If they write, good essays, we do that. Then we have Sunday school. It used to be 200, now we have 50. It's a hybrid school after COVID. We teach languages, Dharam class, we do Ramayana, Mahabharat, yoga, bhajans, personality development. We also have SAT and cultural programs, annual camps, and that's what Shambhaviji was talking about, the summer camp. Our son grew up in summer camp, and I can't take that away from him. It's just the best experience of what their life is. So it's beautiful exercise, and again, definitely believe that vidya dadati vinayam, right? Vinaya dadati patratvam dhanamapnoti. Dhana dharma tatasukam. That's what we truly believe with our Vidya Mandir. That is it. Thank you very much.
Dhanyavad Lakshmi ji. Next we have Nimisha ji from Isha Foundation, who will talk about Save the Soil.
Can you start this? Okay. Namaskaram and Hariom, everyone. So I'm a volunteer at Isha Foundation, and we have a video from Sadhguru, so we would like to show that.
Meet a man who has a devoted following across India and indeed around the world.
You're just an amazing person.
Great talking to you.
Thank you,
today. I look forward to our next time.
I've been following him for a while. He wrote a wonderful book called Inner Engineering.
Save soil, my friend.
I came across this man's teachings online on YouTube, and he blew me away.
I really enjoyed this. He gave me a lot to think about.
I am so honored and so appreciative to have Sadhguru here.
Just learned a lot from this fine gentleman.
I like you, mate. I like the bit on it.
I'm so happy to be here with Sadhguru.
It's an honor to have you here today.
But I really love this man because he's a motorcycle driver. He's in the world, and yet here is this massive guru.
What do we need to do to kind of reset ourselves?
Well, it's in engineering. We needed a kickstart.
Mind-blowing.
We have engineered the outside world in so many ways, but we have done nothing about this one. If you want to know well-being, in is the only way out. For the very first time in the history of humanity, we have the necessary resources, capabilities and technologies to address every issue on the planet. I said, what will I do with $1 billion? My interest is 7 billion people. All of us come from the same soil. All of us eat of the same soil. All of us die and go back to the same soil. So soil is a unifying force.
Soil is not our property. It's a legacy that's come to us from previous generations, and we must pass it on as living soil for future generations. Welcome to Mahashivaratri. In these 20 and odd years, Mahashivaratri has become a massive festival, the only one of its kind in the world right now.
It is only by turning inward that we can create a world full of love, light and laughter. Let's make it happen.
So Save Soil is a movement started by Sadhguru, and it's a global movement for the extinction of the soil and to bring the necessary policies to address the issue facing the humanity. So this movement has granted support from a lot of global leaders and institutions such as the United Nations to combat desertification of the soil. Next slide, please. So soil degradation is, as I said before, it's a global issue, and you can see the numbers. These numbers are from the World Organization, where the soil is degrading, and this is one of the largest movements started by Sadhguru. Can you go back? So the main issue is we are losing the organic content in the soil. And it is rapidly converting into the sand. So the solution is to increase the organic content in the soil. You hear me? Okay. Content in the soil, minimum of 3 to 6%. And how can we increase the organic content in the soil? To bring the agricultural land under the vegetation and shade, the way we actually do the agriculture, that needs to change to some extent, and enrich the soil through the plant litter and animal waste, so to have more like the manure instead of having the chemicals in the soil. Next slide, please. So Save Soil is aiming to increase the organic content by 3 to 6%. Can you go next, please? So how the Sadhguru is asking for the support from everybody, and how can we, help to get the global attention or the leader attention from the leader is like there is something called Earth Buddy, where Sadhguru started a journey and bicycle through all over the world. Motorcycle through all over the world, and then another way is to share the video on the social media, have the more awareness about the soil degradation, and then he just requests everyone, because this is the social media world, where if you are sharing your pictures or something, just have the hashtag as Save Soil, and which will get the attention from the world, where it is a very important issue. So that is how he's asking for the help to more spread the words. That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dhanyavad, Nimisha ji. Next we have from PAPS, Priyesha.
So, namaste and Jai Swaminarayan, everyone. It has been a pleasure today seeing how all the women here practice, protect, and preserve Hinduism. Next. To start off, I'd like to give a brief introduction to what BAPS is. So BAPS is a socio-spiritual organization with over 3,800 centers across the world. Our current guru is Param Pujya Manasvini Maharaj, and he is who we get all our inspiration from. Next. We have over 120 centers right here in North America. You may have been to some of the bigger ones in Chicago, Atlanta, or LA. Next. Out of the 120 centers, one of them is right here in Pittsburgh. So the Pittsburgh Swaminarayan Mandir opened in 2014, so this year is actually our 10th year anniversary. So for the past 10 years, we've been holding satsang sabhas every Saturday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So these satsang sabhas are not only for adults, but we also have separate and simultaneous sabhas for kishoris, kishors, balaks, and balikas. And this is where they learn more about Hinduism. So throughout the year, we have events that are organized by women for women. In these events, women are able to showcase their talents of singing, dancing, public speaking. And through these events, women are not only able to practice Hinduism and learn more about Hinduism, but they're also able to learn skills that they can take back into their personal and professional lives, such as AV, photography, public speaking. Next. And our next upcoming event for Women by Women is on April 20th, and it's the Ram Navami celebration. So I invite you all to come if you have a chance. Next. Next. So outside of Mandir, we also like to host events that help students connect to our culture. So as students, move out of home to go to college and they live in their dorms, it can get difficult to connect to our culture due to increased responsibilities and stress. So what we do is we bring Diwali to the campus. So this past year, Campus Diwali was held in Carnegie Mellon. Next. So in this event, we have Rangoli, we have Aarti, we have Prasad, we have Indian sweets. So through this, students can feel more connected to our culture. And not only that, they can also bring their friends from different backgrounds, and they can proudly show them who we are and what their culture is about. Next. Earlier this year, BAPS also opened the first mandir in Abu Dhabi. As you know, Abu Dhabi is primarily a Muslim country, so it was difficult for Hindus to practice their religion. So this is the first Hindu mandir in the Arab nation, so we're very proud of that. So Hindus can now protect and preserve our culture. Next. Lastly, I'd like to end with Akshardham. You may have heard of Akshardham. It was inaugurated last year in October by His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj. This mandir was solely made to preserve Hinduism. So this mandir was also primarily made by volunteers, and a lot of these volunteers were college girls who were either in college and took a pause from their education, or just finished college and took a pause from their professional careers. Now, think about it. What inspired them? What motivated them to take a pause in their careers when they can see their peers moving on? What motivated them to take a gap for a year? Well, it's because of mandirs just like this one. They grew up in a mandir like this, and they were so proud of their background, about their ethnicity, about their culture, that they want the future generation to also have this in their lives. So that is the only way they were motivated to, volunteer in such a grand project. Next. Next. So thank you everyone for listening, and I'd just like to say that seeing all the women today, I am certain that Hinduism in Pittsburgh especially is going to be protected, it's going to be preserved, and it's going to be practiced for generations to come. Thank you.
Dhanyavad, Priyasha. We have 2 more presentations to go. I know everyone's probably seeing their evening, things they need to do when they go home. So just give us a few more minutes. We are almost at the end. So next up, we have Manisha ji, who will be talking. We have Sneha ji talking about Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh.
Namaste. We'll keep it quick and short. But my name is Sneha Manzukhani, and I'll be talking a bit about Hindu Swayamsevak Sangha. It's a voluntary non-profit organization with around 234 chapters all across the country. Pittsburgh has 4 shakhas, or I would say the meetings that we have in Pittsburgh in the north and the south side. There is also Kishore, which is a teenage shakha that is conducted, and also a Sevika shakha. So the idea of the whole concept of Hindu Swayamsevak Sangha is to how to practice, promote, and also even how do we apply it to the society outside. That's the whole logic behind it, and how we can take how can we positively contribute to the society. And the crux of it is our shakha, where we meet every Friday for 1.5 hours, and we conduct activities ranging from intellectual to spiritual development. We start with yoga and we move on to khels. Now the khels are also Bharatiya khels, which require no tools or resources to play. And I can see the smiles on some of our Sevikas, because Sevikas are a pro at Kho-Kho. Some of them have really played lovely Kho-Kho and Kabaddi. And also we end with, we do a Geet, which is also in different languages that is conducted. So everybody is also comfortable with it. And we have Bauddhik, which is intellectual discussion sessions on even social issues or dharmic topics, but which can cater to all audiences, since it's a family shakha, so we have all age groups. Now moving on to the next slide, which mainly talks about how do we take it to the communities, basically. So there are 4 prominent activities that are done around the year, apart from the others. So starting with, let's start with probably the Health for Humanity Yogathon, because that happens in January. It's the Surya Namaskar Yajna, where basically we invite all the community yoga leaders to come and start this yogathon, where we've done a 24-hour marathon of Surya Namaskars as well. And we even have neurologists and doctors come talk about the benefits of how Surya Namaskar can be done. And even the kids, the balas in our shakhas, have taken it to their schools and conducted a quick, small session of how Surya Namaskar and the benefits of yoga can be. So that is a great kickstart to the year. Then moving on to the next, which is the most beloved of our events, that is Guru Vandana at the corner, where basically it's the Guru Shishya Parampara that we have in Bharat, and how our kids can thank their teachers, which the teachers out here don't really get to hear from their kids, right? So our kids invite their teachers very happily. We have like almost 40 teachers, and the kids are made to put a tilak on them, take their blessings, and even do an aarti for them. And the teachers have literally tears in their eyes. So this is one of the most beloved, and I think the kids get to express their thank to their teachers in a very Bharatiya way, which is one of the biggest takeaways. And next we have Raksha Bandhan. So in Raksha Bandhan, we talk about tying Rakhis to brothers and sisters. But in Shakha, Sangha, what we learn is it's universal brotherhood. So tying Rakhis to firemen, or even to the police department, or even to doctors, or even the city council, or even to the mayor of Pittsburgh, our balas and all of us, even as elders, we've learned that they are the ones who are protecting us. And being in the forefront of all challenges, we are being protected by them. So thanking them in whatever way we can, and for whatever protection they have done for us. And lastly, moving on to the last quarter, we have Seva Diwali. So this Diwali is about spreading light to others, and even removing the darkness from others. And what's the best way we can do that is by HSS, along with other organizations, we come together and we do a food donation drive. Basically, we've collected a lot of food and donated to food camps, and a lot of balas are involved in even packaging of the foods and even delivering them to the shelters. So this is just a brief overview, but any questions we can talk later. Dhanyavad.
And yes, Snehaji, we have our last organization, Seva International USA Pittsburgh, and Manisha ji will give a brief overview.
Thank you. Wow, so we've been kept the best for the last, which is great. And I have Aditi with me as well, and we'll talk about Seva. And just one thing before I talk about Seva, and we can start with the video, is, when I was talking about challenges, suggestions, and contributions, I felt we already have it. It's just about getting onto it. So that's great. Good to know about all the organizations. And can I request to run the video before I could do the introduction about Seva?
International is a humanitarian, non-profit service organization. Founded in 2003, Seva International is part of a larger movement that started in India in 1989 and is active in 20 countries. Seva serves humanity irrespective of race, color, religion, gender, or nationality. We at Seva believe that the world is one family. We at Seva believe that serving humanity is serving divinity. And yes, Seva, as the name itself suggests, is selfless service. Our organization specializes in disaster relief and rehabilitation. Our development programs focus on family services, child, tribal, and refugee welfare, female empowerment, health, and education. Come, let's continue this journey together, because together we can serve better.
Great, thank you. So I think you guys know what Seva International is all about. We are active in 20 countries today as we speak. And if you can go to the next slide, I'll quickly talk about the programs that we focus on. LEADS. So LEADS is a program which is completely focused on helping and training and empowering high school children. They can come volunteer for all the programs that you saw in the video, whether it's disaster relief, whether it's helping the refugees in the local area, whether it's just doing medical camps, food donation, even participating in the other organizations that we spoke about, right? So this is a program where we empower these children. By the way, they get an opportunity to log the hours, and if you cross beyond 100 to 150 hours, you also get a presidential award. I mean, this year itself, we almost awarded 10 plus kids just that they crossed those number of volunteering hours, which was great. The kids are really excited to work on this, and this helps them with the college admissions as well. So in case if you're interested in volunteering or registering your kids for this LEADS program, please do connect with any of the Seva volunteers. We have Shweta ji here, Kiran ji, Sai ji, myself, Aditi, and we can help you, your kids register for the next year. The second program is, again, Sports for Seva is an initiative, but I would like to talk about SHE and SAC. So you would have seen in the slides, in the video, right? So we have two programs which are focused on Indian rural area and helping the underprivileged. One of them is SHE, which is focused on women sanitization and empowering them. A lot of women, they leave school after they hit puberty. They can't go to the schools because there are not toilets or enough infrastructure. We help them build this, and we try to collect funds and help build toilets in rural areas. Then the other program is SAC, Sponsor a Child, which is focused on helping underprivileged kids, supporting them with basic education, supporting them with 10th grade. And we help, and it takes as low as $1 a day to support one child in India. So it's about $360, and that's all you need to support a child's education. What we are doing here, apart from obviously requesting people to volunteering for these initiatives, we run a lot of other events, and I will let Aditi talk about one of them.
Thank you, Manisha ji. So to support SHE and SAC, we are trying to organize a Sports for Seva event. It's a women's cricket tournament. Last year, we had 6 teams registered for this tournament, and we're hoping this year we get more and more teams enrolled for this program. You can reach out to me, Manisha ji, Shweta ji, Kiran ji, Hasmukh ji for enrollment and registrations. And the next program, we have a big event coming up. Next slide.
So save the date, guys.
Yeah, save the date. It's on June 15, 2025. 24, sorry. That was a mistake. Next slide. Yeah. So there will be one more event on April 6th. It's a collaboration with AmeriCorps. So we are going to arrange an event for, So it's going to be a service event. It's a big service Seva Day for us. So I'm hoping all of you can enroll for this program. Please reach out to us and enroll for it. It's on April 6th. Thank you.
So just two key takeaways. As interested, you can volunteer, you can be available as required. There are two important events that are coming up. So one is the Seva Day of Service. So Seva Day of Service is not just one-day event. We are tying up with AmeriCorps. We're going to get a lot of grant. We have to do some events, community events, and it pretty much ties with Seva's vision. And one of those programs is on April 6th, 9 to 12:30. It's going to be in North Hills. It's a community program. Please do connect with Sweta ji, Kiran ji, Sai ji, or two of us, and we can help you participate in that event. Second important event for women empowerment. So the cricket tournament that you saw, June 15th, whatever funds we collect for that tournament, it's going to go for SHE and SAC back in India. So whatever contribution we get, so that, it's going to be a funful event. Last year, it was super competitive. We had all the Kohlis and Tendulkar energies coming out. We want more and more teams this year. That day was one-day program. We hope that we run out of time and we do a two-day program. So please register. Reach out to me. Gradually, we're going to send out QR codes as well. You will see flyers around, Indian stores, temples, etc. But in case if you don't hear, you can reach out to us. And that's going to be a very, very important program. You're going to support SHE and SAC. It's a big deal. And you're going to have fun. The second program, as she just mentioned, April 6th, register, 9 to 11:30, and it's going to be in North Hills. Thank you. And by the way, if you just want to register for Seva as a volunteer, just reach out to us and we'll add you to the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
National is a humanitarian nonprofit service.
All right. So we're at the final session. We'll have Dr. Lakshmi Ji Kopi giving the closing remarks and vote of thanks. A quick introduction of Lakshmi Ji. She's worked in the corporate world in different senior executive roles for 25 years. She's now in the academic field, and she teaches undergrad and master classes in Indiana University. She also has an executive MBA and has been living in Pittsburgh since the past 25 years. She, as we saw, is associated with the Hindu Jain temple.
Namaste, everyone. I'm the one standing between you and the car. And I have a tall task to wrap this up in 3 minutes, so let's see how we are going to do it. First off, I wanted to really give my word of thanks, and I can't see anything here, which is good, to the following people. Honestly, Chinmaya Mission, thank you for giving us this location and food. Sincerely appreciate that effort. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much for everything here. The next thing I want to call out is all the organizations that supported us. Chinmaya Mission again, Hindu Jain Temple, Babs Mandir, Isha, Seva, and HSS. Thank you all for your support, for the hours that we have all put in. It could have not been done if these representatives didn't spend time here. The wonderful panelists who shared their thoughts, their stories, thank you so much for taking the time and being with us today. All the volunteers who helped us with the setup, with decoration, registration desk, bringing people in the car, those young gentlemen at the back kind of setting up our, lighting, everything. There's anybody, even if I have not mentioned, I really want to thank on behalf of the committee for all your contributions. I have to sneak this in. I would like to thank all the family members who left us alone here. And us alone when we were planning this at late night hours, but in real sincerity, the kids and the family members who supported us through this, really thank you to them as well. Then my fellow, Nari Shakti that helped kind of organize this event. Sai ji, Sneha ji, Sridevi ji, Manjari ji, Sheila Garu, and Vishala Garu. Just amazing team. It's been an extremely wonderful journey, so thank you for bringing us all together. If I've missed anyone, please, I apologize. Sri Devi ji, I'm sorry, see? Shweta ji, okay, that was, see, I knew. Sorry, Shweta ji. But I have your name, I have the proof. But if I've missed anyone, in all sincerity, please accept our thankfulness towards what you have done and our apologies. Finally, all of you who came here, who spent the valuable time, who made our first women's conference fun and entertaining. I hope I learned a lot as I was walking around and I was doing the sessions. I hope you all also got the same thing out of this event. So we want to really sincerely, on behalf of all the organizing committee members, thank you for being here. Let's give a round of applause for all of you. All right, did you all have fun? Yeah? Shakti ka naam? Shakti ka naam? Shakti ka naam? Yeah, as Saiji said, right, women have a multiple identity, we all as women. And we kind of got together and discussed how to get these women and how we can tap into that strength and discuss the challenge and the solutions as a group here in Pittsburgh. And that's how really this whole thing started. Our Hinduism is just a way of life. We are so blessed to be born as women in Hinduism because we already have a definition, which is Nari Shakti. And when you really look at it, woman is Shakti. Shakti is tenacious, yet very calm. She's very graceful, yet very fierce. Shakti is also very creative, but guess what? Gets things done. So why not have these wonderful women here and then kind of talk through our common challenges? That's kind of how it really started. We have heard today several things. I'm going to kind of really summarize what we have learned, and I hope that's all we all got. So from the panelists, one thing we clearly heard was, hey, practice what you preach. It's only the actions that's going to take your next generation to follow you. So that's very important. And you need to really connect the Hindutva with anything that you do. Since it is the way of life, you have message, strength, and also a drive that comes from our religion. Everything is in there. So let's kind of leverage what we have, which is our biggest strength. We also heard that it is very important as women for us to build the confidence of our next generation about who they are so that they can go out and speak about it confidently. And we do it with our guidance and with the way we behave. So we first need to feel confident about who we are, about our Hinduism identity. Now, through the sessions, we found that our challenges are similar, and we can draw the strength or path from Hinduism. That was very clear. It's networking. You know, we all have to come in as a community. As Saiji said in the beginning, we are really trying to get the women power to be positively impacting our family, our community, and more importantly, ourselves. I hope you all felt that you got some of those inspirations out of this session today. We really are hoping we will see all of you again in next Women's Conference, Hindu Women's Conference. The 2 action items we want to take up for ourselves is, one, we will send an email with all the final capture of action items to all of you who have participated here. We really think that we could use so many Shakti powers here. Just with interaction, we saw so much of, enlightenment, encouragement, really people charged to support. Please reach out to one of the members if you want to participate to help us to kind of move it to the next level. We could use all the help that we can get. So with that, thank you very much. Nari Shakti? Yes. No? You'll only go to the first one? Nari Shakti? Okay, no Zindabad. Nari Shakti? Okay, all right. Thank you. We will end with the Shanti mantra, and then we'll finish it. Saiji, did I cover everything? Okay, great. All right. Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.